Tim's News Explosion. 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 Tim's News Explosion.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another week of Tim's News Explosion. During these news blasts, I untwist the established news narrative of the week in a fast-paced 30-minute digest every Monday evening on the Wilmsfront channels. It is Monday, the 7th of June, 2021. It is 8:30 p.m. here in Melbourne, where we are in our second week of the circuit breaker lockdown. Will it be just this one extra week? Who knows? The Victorian state governments likes to keep us in a permanent state of uncertainty and also fear about these new, we've got two Indian variants on the loose in Melbourne, where we're told by our acting Premier James Merlino, the Health Minister Martin Foley, and Chief Health Officer Brett Sutton. The better news for regional Victorians is they are somewhat free this week, but they are locked out still of all the other states and territories, which is bad for border communities such as up in Wodonga and Mildura. But on Thursday night, after the 1 week extension of the lockdown was announced, it was revealed that two of the so-called fleeting transmission of this outbreak, which began in the city of Whittlesea in Melbourne's northwest, from a return traveller from South Australian hotel quarantine. Brett Sutton told us this is an absolute beast of a virus, this Indian strain, and there were multiple examples of fleeting transmission, we were told. Well, on Thursday evening, it was revealed that two of those fleeting transmission examples turned out to be false positives, so they didn't have the virus. But then on the next day, Friday, we were told that there was a separate outbreak centered around this North Melbourne primary school from this family that travelled to Jervis Bay in southern New South Wales the past week. And even though Sutton said that this Indian variant was an absolute beast virulent, we then learnt on Friday that even though this Indian variant was bad, there's another Indian variant in this new cluster, which is even more transmissible, we heard. So there's actually two Indian variants, but because India complained that the variants were named after the country of origin, the variants now are named after letters in the Greek alphabet, so not nation of origin now. So the original beast Indian variant that Brett Sutton talked about is the Kapper variant. That's its code name. So apparently that was bad, but then there's this other Indian variant which is called Delta, and this is really, really bad. The Herald Sun on Saturday called it Deadly Delta. So the original Indian strain apparently was really, really bad, but this Delta one, this is so much worse, and this justifies the extra weeks lockdown. And this is the main cluster now that health authorities are trying to keep under control, and as their favorite expression is run it to the ground. Now, with the extension of the lockdown by a week, it's another change that they made is that QR codes are now mandatory in all public, or you'd say open to the public areas and commercial commercial stores. This includes retail, including supermarkets. So when you go to the supermarket now, there's a queue to QR check-in. And now Victoria is not the first state to implement QR codes everywhere, including supermarkets and retail. South Australia and Western Australia have done this as well. And now, before you get shitty at the state Labor government for introducing this extra QR code compliance measure, it was actually the state Liberal opposition that was pushing for QR codes to be made mandatory at supermarkets, retail, and Bunnings warehouses. So it was actually something that the Andrews government capitulated to the demand of the opposition there. So much for the Liberal the freedom-loving Liberal opposition there. And now, obviously, we're told that the only way to get out of this perpetual cycle of lockdowns is to get vaccinated. And now, obviously, in the past the first week of the lockdown, we saw the massive queues at the mass vaccination hubs. They've now dwindled. Now, obviously, the surge has ended there. More vaccines are on their way to Victoria. Federal government Health Minister Greg Hunter announced, and according to the Victorian government, 70% of Victorians getting the vax will be the only will be the only thing that will guarantee the end of perpetual lockdowns in Victoria. Although Acting Premier James Merlino this week did get a bit tongue twisted when talking about the virus and the vaccine.
You know, the vaccine is our enemy. You know, the vaccine is our enemy. Oh, sorry, I'll start again. There we go. That'll run tonight. The virus is our enemy, and the virus doesn't sleep. The virus mutates. The virus thinks that this is a race. You know, the vaccine is our enemy.
And he was absolutely right. It did run in the news that night, and it's run on social media for the past few days there. Now, because we have this push now to that the only way to end the pandemic for good, what both state and federal authorities said is to get vaccinated. We National Cabinet. Scott Morrison spoke that they're looking at mandating the vaccines for aged care workers, and also Scott Morrison announced the initial rollout of what he termed vaccine certificates, a digital wallet program. I'll play this for you.
The vaccination certification is already present within the Services Australia system, but it will soon be available through the Medicare app and ultimately in the form of a digital wallet that can be used by citizens. That will be available in July. There is already the Medicare reference that you can get through the Medicare app, which we anticipate to be available this month. That is a tool that can be used by states and territories. In particular, we discussed the many exemptions that states and territories provide when we're in a situation exactly like we are now with Victoria, and there are states and territories that are providing, that are imposing restrictions on people's ability to travel, and it will be open to states and territories to include an exemption if they so choose. There was no agreement on this. There is simply the opportunity for them to take this up if they wanted to provide an exemption in those circumstances for people who have that vaccination in place, then they can do so.
So Scott Morrison has proposed this, that if you're fully vaccinated, you'll be exempt from any future lockdowns or border closures. And Scott Morrison was correct there in that the federal government already is compiling COVID-19 immunisation status data. This is one of the this is just a pro forma here that they have the dates given for the various vaccine, what the immunization is, and what the brand name is there. So the certificate of vaccination ID process is already quite underway by the federal government here, and of course the mainstream media is on board as well. This was the front page of the NT News last week. Just get the damn jab. The coverage, page 4 to 5, editorial, page 20. Their subheading is the COVID-19 vaccines are safe. The health professionals say so. It's time to end the scare campaign. The outbreak happening down south is a reminder how quickly the virus can spread. Your family, friends, and the Northern Territory and the rest of Australia needs you. So if you're eligible. And we also had Channel 9 put together their own Get Vaccinated video here, which I'll play for you now.
COVID has affected each and every one of us, but now we have a shot to get our lives back to normal.
This is our shot to protect our communities.
This is our shot to keep our borders open.
Our shot to explore the world again.
To welcome friends back to our shores.
Our shot to keep live music alive.
Our shot to keep families safe.
Our shot to keep the crowds coming.
Our shot to keep businesses open.
And people in jobs.
Our shot to reunite families.
This is our shot to help save lives.
And to bring Australians home.
Our shot to get everyone together for Christmas.
This is our shot.
This is our shot.
Our shot.
This is our shot.
This is our shot.
I've had my shot.
This is my shot.
This is my shot.
This is my shot. Come on, Australia, let's get the job done. Start a conversation with your doctor about your shot.
Now, on social media, this ad was criticised, but not for the reasons that you might be suspecting. The Twitter blue drops, as they know and believe, that this ad was too white because they were all white Channel 9 personalities, and this showed how undiverse our media is there. So that was apparently the worst aspect of that ad. Now, we had Anastasia Palaszczuk today get her shot. Now, Anastasia Palaszczuk is 51. So according to the federal government guidelines, she should only get the AstraZeneca shot, but she got the Pfizer vaccine because there's only a 3-week wait between the second dose, while for AstraZeneca it's 12 weeks. The reason why she got the Pfizer is because she wanted to be fully vaccinated in time to travel to the Tokyo for the Olympics. So yeah, that was her justification for going against the ATAGI federal government vaccination policy there, because I think the reason she wants to go to Tokyo is because she wants to get Brisbane, Southeast Queensland the Olympics in 2032. And now, just finishing off on National Cabinet on Friday, Scott Morrison also talked about the federal government approving the new quarantine camp at Avalon Airport, which is midway between Melbourne and Geelong, to help minimise the chances of quarantine leaks, and so it can be apparently on standby for future pandemics. Now, because Melbourne was locked down for another weekend, that meant on Friday night a new round of threatening letters from Assistant Victoria Police Commissioner Luke Cornelious were sent out by his minions. They sent another one to independent journalist Real Rukshan. A lot of the videos that I play on this program are his. The ones that have the blue R on them, they're the ones that have been put together by him. And also, Avi Yemini got a threatening letter from Luke Cornelious, which was delivered late on Friday night. I'll just play that here.
What's this?
Hi, Ivy. My name's Alex. I'm from Dandenong Police Station. Just got a letter here for you.
You
from
guys.
the Assistant Commissioner. Just in relation to the protest tomorrow, mate.
What's your name?
First Constable Alex Lyons from Dandenong.
Who we got here? So this is a letter to, what's it about?
It's in relation to the protest tomorrow, mate.
Yeah, so what's the letter you're sending me from the Commissioner?
The contents are for yourself to have a read.
Why is he sending me letters?
What's that?
Why is he sending me letters?
We've got several.
What time is it?
It is 8:30, mate. We've got several letters to deliver, so we're going to be off.
Hold on, are you going to Channel 7, Channel 9? Are you going to Channel 10's house tonight?
Sorry, mate, when...
So why are you coming to my house to deliver me a message about a protest tomorrow?
Because that's what we've been advised to do by the Commissioner.
So he advised... Where are you from?
Dandenong. We're all from Dandenong.
You're from Dandenong. So the Commissioner asked you directly to come to my house, a journalist, and to give me a letter warning me what?
I don't know. It's in there. You got to read it, mate.
So
that's all.
We've just been asked to serve the letter, mate. That's all.
And what's your name, miss? What's your name?
Constable Chrissy Flavey.
All right. Please don't come to unless you go. Are you on your list tonight? Is Channel 7, 9, or 10?
I haven't gone through the entire list, mate.
Do you mind looking at the list and letting us know? I think the public would like to know. The public would like to know if you're going to Channel 9 and 10.
Be careful.
Yeah. Shame on you. Trying to intimidate journalists. Look at that.
Yeah, so you heard the Victoria Police Constables there say, basically said when delivering that letter, we're just following orders there. Obviously, they said they had heaps of letters to deliver. It's like that Victoria Police has their own postal division there. Luke Cornelious obviously is sending other people to deliver his letters. I'm not sure if Luke Cornelius can fit into a police car anymore, or whether the weight of a police car will hold him. We haven't seen him actually front any press conferences during this second lockdown here. Now, the reason that they were delivering, Luke Cornelius was sending out these Victoria police officers to deliver these threatening letters, is because there was a small business protest scheduled for Flinders Street Station the next day there. Now, the mainstream media, they had an interesting spin on this protest here. So the headline is that Independent MP Catherine Cummings is under fire for attending Saturday's small business rally. She said, "I'm a member of Parliament. I'm essential. The media were there. They are essential. I was not doing anything illegal, just like the media wasn't. Under the current lockdown restrictions, attending a protest is not one of the fine reasons to leave home." And then if we go down here, it says 2 people were arrested and 1 charged with criminal offences at an anti-lockdown protest at Flinders Street Station in Melbourne. 16 people were also fined. The 48-year-old man was arrested after failing to provide his name and address. Now, it describes here, this is the interesting part here, Flinders Street chaos. There are dramatic scenes outside Flinders Street Station on Saturday as a protest meant to support small business. So it's interesting there, the media, they don't condemn the illegal protest outright. They say it was disrupted by people causing trouble. It goes further down here. Public order response teams pounced upon protesters who were not wearing masks. They like to point out that a lot of these protesters are unmasked as well. Among the group was high-profile freedom fighter Morgan Jonas, and he was one of the people. I'm not sure if he was arrested or detained, but he was definitely handcuffed. This is Morgan here.
I know that you're not. Okay, but we have a situation where there's a coronavirus out there, and the survival rate is slightly below 100%, and I'm not willing to accept that the government's willing to shut down businesses, destroy people's lives, and to enforce abusive policy that is carried out by you guys.
We can agree to disagree all day, all right? We're not here to ruin your day, sir. We're just here to ask you to move on.
I don't need to. I've got every right to be here. I was born in Melbourne. This is my city. You've got no right to enforce tyranny. I'm not committing any of I'm not committing any. Yeah, you should probably tell me why before you grab me.
You're under
doing this?
You're under
dogs! Dogs! Tyranny enforcing!
Just hold him.
Hey, you feel proud of yourselves? Huh?
Stay still, sir.
What's the survival rate of COVID? Answer me that. Where's COVID caused excess mortality? You're destroying people's lives for this?
Now, Morgan's normally a very calm man. That's the most animated I've seen him. But going on to this news.com.au article, early Carly Soderstrom was one of their speakers at the protest who was wearing a mask, said she wanted to peacefully represent poor business. We're not being heard on social media or by our local members. She said the people causing trouble had nothing to do with them or their cause. And further down here it says anti-vax protests fizzle. A police tactics secured planned protests at 3 vaccination hubs were followed. It mentions perennial protester and anti-masker Harrison McLean was among a handful of protesters who turned up. Hundreds of police provided onlookers who queued to get vaccinated with a distraction while they waited. And then it has here, because Avi went to obviously the Flinders Street protest in his journalistic capacity at Rebel News. It says far-right figure spotted at protest. Far-right social media personality Avi Yemini has been spotted at one of the protests in Melbourne, despite police attending and advising him not to attend. Mr. Yemini was seen at Flinders Street protest, although organisers distanced themselves from troublemakers who were arrested. He had earlier tweeted, "I will not be intimidated by any cops. I'll be there today to do my job." Mr. Yemini was accompanied by a man wearing a high-vis vest which read security and another man with a camera. Or yeah, there was a man with a camera there, because how else is Avi supposed to get footage for Rebel News without a cameraman? The group approached both police and protesters throughout the rally. So that was the News Corp Australia Newswire summary of the day. Now, as I mentioned, the first outbreak that came to Melbourne originated in South Australia. We still don't know where this second outbreak, the Delta variant, came from. The theory is that it most likely came from hotel quarantine, but there's no virus in South Australia. But they did allow the Collingwood Magpies to play the Adelaide Crows on the weekend. All the Collingwood players tested negative, but because they were Victorians, the Chief Health Officer over in South Australia, Nicholas Spurrier, had this advice.
We cannot have any interaction at all. We're looking at the seating at the moment, and of course we're looking at the ball, because sometimes the ball, not that I've been to many football games, I have noticed occasionally it does get kicked into the crowd, and we are working through the details of what that will mean. If you are at Adelaide Oval and the ball comes towards you, my advice to you is to duck and just do not touch that ball.
Yes, it's a very infectious ball. I mean, look, this was the Collingwood ball on Saturday that they used in the Adelaide Collingwood match. Danger, do not touch. Please do not touch. And it's obviously got the Corona Corona warning logo there as well. Now, in Melbourne on Saturday afternoon, because, well, Melburnians are stuck at home on a Saturday afternoon due to the lockdown with not much to do. There's not much to do other than, well, for some people, go down the rabbit hole of social media. And the rumours about the real cause of Dan Andrews' fall on the 9th of March at a holiday rental on the Mornington Peninsula resurfaced. Because he did return to social media the week to express solidarity with Melburnians. Now, his wife, Catherine Andrews, it would appear in response to these renewed online rumours about the real cause of, as is known now, Stam and Dan's fall, tweeted this: "On the tools again, practice makes perfect. I love this one, getting better every day." Now, this is supposedly Catherine Andrews trimming Dan Andrews' hair. But first of all, we can't see that that's actually Catherine Andrews there. Now, it sort of looks like Dan, but his eyes are obscured. So is his big flappy ears there. So if you wanted to basically tweet out something to dispel one of the rumors was that she had left him, you wouldn't tweet out this photo. This just frenzied things even further. And now the Victorian Liberal opposition, their Shadow Treasury spokesperson Louise Staley, has put out today that the Premier owes Victorians some simple answers. These are the questions he must answer before he comes back to work. What time did the incident occur? Who was in the house at the time of the incident? What is the address of the house where it occurred? Who owns the property? What time was an ambulance called? Who called the ambulance? What time did the ambulance arrive? Which ambulance station was the ambulance dispatched from? Who made the decision to take the Premier to Peninsula Private? Were the police contacted? Did the police attend? Has Daniel Andrews been interviewed either formally or informally by the police in relation to anything that occurred over that long weekend? Because this was at his slip down the stairs was at the end of the Labor Day long weekend there. So Dan apparently is hoping to return to work later in the month once he gets the all clear from his medical team, and it's certainly going to be interesting what he has to say in regard to the reason why these rumors have circulated is because, well, there's hardly any trust in the Andrews government, and there was such an information vacuum after his stair fall. That, of course, these rumors just took off a life of their own. Now, going on to the other week's news to round off the show. So, at the beginning of last week, a former Federal Attorney General, now Employment and Small and Family Business Minister Christian Porter, dropped his defamation action against the ABC in exchange for an editor's note, which basically said that on the article that Louise Milligan wrote, the ABC did not intend to suggest that Mr. Porter had committed the criminal offences alleged. The ABC did not contend that the serious accusations could be substantiated to the applicable legal standard, criminal or civil. However, both parties accept that some readers misinterpreted the article as an accusation of guilt against Mr. Porter. That reading, which was not intended by the ABC, is regretted. Now, it was last Monday, it was originally spun that Porter had backed down. But that's not actually the case, because the ABC, it says here, will be paying his mediation costs, which are $100,000. And the reason why the ABC agreed to this is because, well, if it went to trial, it would have cost the ABC $1.5 million. This is all taxpayer money, of course, and it had already cost the ABC $780,000. This was the managing director of the ABC, David Anderson, before Senate estimates. And despite the saga that the ABC caused with this Louise Milligan, Christian Porter reporting on these unproven allegations, Four Corners was planning to air another Louise Milligan story this Monday night, right now, on Scott Morrison's, his wife's friend's husband, who ran a QAnon Twitter account. So they're apparently going to air a whole story on that, again by Louise Milligan. So this was pulled So Morrison, he said it was deeply offensive, this proposed episode, and in poor form. The ABC hasn't said that. They said they might air it in the future, but they're still deciding yet, because of course the blue drops on Twitter, of course. How dare the ABC back down on doing this important journalistic work? So they're being hit from both fronts. The ABC from the lefties who think it's their ABC. Now, I mentioned, was it a couple of weeks back, that there was another LGBT alphabet soup Pride Day in May, Ida Bit Day, International Day against what is that? Homophobia, biphobia, intersex phobia, and trans phobia, which the Australian various parts of the Australian Defence Force commemorated. But over in the US, they have now a whole month of June for LGBT Pride, and there's we have another one coming up in here in Australia called Wear It Purple Day, which is aimed at making schools safe places for LGBT youth. And the reason why Pride Month has become notable over in the Northern Hemisphere, the US, is because of all the corporations changing their logos to rainbow logos, except for their Middle East divisions here. So Mercedes-Benz, BMW, Cisco, Lavino, Bethesda, all their Western-based ones are all rainbow, but their Middle Eastern ones are just the normal one. I wonder why that is. And I must say, for BMW, their logos have certainly changed quite radically over the past, what would you say, nearly 100 years there. So yes, even though over in the US now, the pandemic is, well, it's been basically declared over by the Biden administration there. They're going to be enjoying a close to normal summer, but yes, they're still going to be going to be subjected to all rainbows for at least the first month of summer here. Who knows here in Australia? Well, what the next week holds for Melbourne. Next week, Monday, next Tim's News Explosion will be on the Queen's birthday. Queen's birthday, so it'll be the end of the Queen's birthday long weekend. We shall see if the residents of Melbourne are allowed any more freedom by then. The next D-Day for the Victorian government to decide whether to ease restrictions is 11:59 p.m. Friday night, though James Merlino has said that likely for the Queen's birthday long weekend, travel restrictions between metro and regional Victoria are likely to still be in place. There will be no Wilmsfront featured interview program this Thursday because it is Trad Tasman Talk Week. So this Friday, the 11th of June, 6 p.m. Melbourne time on the Unshackled's YouTube channel and Trad Tasman Talk Odyssey channel, that'll be airing this week. And then obviously Tim's News Explosion it's every week. And then Wilmsfront will next air on Thursday, the 17th of June. My guest will be the lovely Evelyn Ray of Cauldron Pool. So I'm very much looking forward to chatting with her. Brawl in the Brain, hosted by myself and Jazz Searby, is still on hiatus as Jazz is about to become a father for the third time, which he and his wife Kate are very excited about. When it returns, it'll be on Wednesdays at 8:30 p.m. Melbourne time. And of course, regular reports from Tiger Mountain continue to be uploaded to the Unshackled YouTube channel. I have been checking out Entropy throughout the evening here. There is a question here from Hadron Anti-Bullying, formerly Bieber Anti-Bullying. Tim, can you get Scott Bolson on? He was the first guy to do alt media in Australia and apparently has a very interesting story. Well, you have my contact details, Hadron, so please provide me with more information about him. and I will consider it. Now, Steve on the entropy chat has a number of comments here. He says here, Victoria, get out of Victoria. I think a lot more Victorians will get out of Victoria when they can. Opposition, my butt. They are all the same. So yes, thank you again, everybody in the live chats for being part of the show again. That's it for Tim's News Explosion this week. Make sure you keep checking the unshackled.net for the Unshackled Productions archive, and also the unshackled.net content. And I'll next see you all on Friday, and Tim's News Explosion back same time on Monday. Thank you, everyone. Good night.
Tim's News Explosion. 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 Tim's News Explosion.